It's a heist movie where she steals my 2 hours. This is She-Devil on Stinker Madness.
Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. We got Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are also Sam and Jackie. Hello to Sam and Jackie.
Hello.
Hello. I'm copying Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
From the movie. Did
That's
that sound
Meryl,
dramatic?
Meryl Streepy. Yeah, she's very dramatic, and not just this film, but she's done that once or twice before, where she's
Where she's copying Faye Dunaway from
yes,
Mommy Dearest.
Yes. I kind of think it works for Meryl Streep. There's a sense of comedy behind what she's doing, at least. Not hijinks, but overdoing it, a la Jim Carrey, the way he overdoes it. It's just that it seems like in certain situations she's trying to take the writing that she's stuck with and making something out of it.
At the same time, it's like the character is a character. So she's created this whole persona. So her character is playing someone in the movie.
Are you talking about this film? Because I was talking about all of films.
All the time with Meryl Streep?
For the most part, like when she's in this type of comedic role.
How many other times has she been in comedic roles?
Again, we talked about this in the Point 5.
It was that one with Alec Baldwin and Steve. What is his name?
James.
No.
Well, Death Becomes Her was a comedy too, right?
Death Becomes Her's not very funny.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it's super funny.
That's okay.
Nice. Way to turncoat.
Yeah, I saw it at the theater. It's not very funny. It's okay.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Postcards from the Edge. Death Becomes Her, obviously.
I've never even heard of Postcards from the Edge.
That's the semi-autobiographical Carrie Fisher thing, right?
I don't know.
That's actually more depressing than it is funny, but it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
But she still plays that. Whoa, whoa. A series of unfortunate events. She was comedic in the same manner of whoa. I'm just saying, I've seen her do it several times now.
But this is her comedy shtick.
I think so.
Yeah, and I think inside of this movie, you have it's an interesting thing because she has this person that she's pretending to be in the film. So it's almost like, because she stops being that person for a brief moment and starts yelling at everybody and calling them cocksuckers.
Right.
Which is, I think, the only time that this movie actually works.
Okay.
So I would say that Meryl Streep didn't do bad in this movie.
I will agree with that. I do like her analogy comparison of Faye Dunaway from Mommy Dearest in this. I think it's a clear influence on her work here.
Yes.
And she definitely was the right pick for this role.
Sure.
I'm going to say that. Like, she's just one of those classic beautiful ladies that...
She's got a weird snoot.
I don't know. I think Bob Saget in a wig could have done it.
Yeah.
No. I'm going with Meryl. I think she did a really good job.
She-Devil also stars Roseanne Barr, who was a very big deal at the time. Hot.
This is when she's a hot commodity. Her comedy's going hot. She's in between season 1 and 2 of Roseanne.
Mm-hmm. Tom Arnold's right around the corner.
I think he's already upper button around the corner. They're already probably stooping.
Dating.
They're just not married yet.
Right, sure. But there's not a lot of Roseanne in this movie. There's...
Like the character Roseanne?
No, because when you think of Roseanne Barr or Roseanne Arnold, whichever it was at the time, she's loud, obnoxious, says things off the cuff that are sometimes abrasive.
Her comedy shtick was...
But never quiet is what I would say. She's never quiet, never... And really, during this film, I thought even when she's going nuts, she wasn't going nuts.
Not really.
Her character was very tame.
Which, again, I will then back her up and say I think that Roseanne Barr did a fine job acting in this movie.
I think so, too.
Yeah, she played the role of, the housewife who knows that it's ending, who can't do a damn thing about it. She plays it really well.
Okay. I completely didn't believe anything about either character because the writing is awful in this film. It is a piece of shit, horrendously terrible, god-awful, unenjoyable mess of not knowing what the fuck you're doing when it comes to writing something.
All right.
Nothing happens.
Well, no.
In the grand scheme of things. The characters go on zero journey. The characters are not a single one of them are likable. Their actions and motivations are completely unbelievable and cannot exist in the universe that we live in. And last but not least, again, going back to these two actors, which isn't necessarily for the writing, but you get a sense of that there was this script and somebody was like, hey, you know what? We're going to put Meryl Streep and Roseanne. And I think that they're terrible casts because these two actresses could have been in something else that was wild and outlandish that this is supposed to be, and it's not wild and outlandish, and they could have been phenomenal. They were never given the opportunity based on the limitations of the script.
See, and I'm going to disagree with you somewhat. I think that both the ladies were a good cast. I will agree that the storyline was weak. It was weak.
It's very weak.
As far as it being completely out of the realm of things that happen, I disagree with you.
I'm going to get into those things. We'll address those when we talk about the movie.
All right, sir. I accept that challenge.
I think that there was some problems with the writing, but I actually think that the main problem is that whoever wrote it had one idea. The gal directing it wanted to sort of make a women's power play film, and the producer wanted a zany screwball comedy, and all three forces tugged in different directions, and it ended up somewhere outside of any of those things.
It's not any of those things.
It's not any of those things.
I find it to be, well, I'll save that for later. But yeah, I think that there is not a single joke in this film that appears to be a joke. That the script originally, maybe somebody did get their hands on it, but I'm still going to boil it down to the words that are coming out of people's mouths in this film, not the cinematic surroundings around it. That they are delivered as jokes, but on paper, they're just people saying things like, hey, how's your day? That's not a joke.
Yeah, some of the post-production, though, I think goes into that as well, that it may not have played like that when they were shooting it, but it plays like that when the movie's done.
Okay, yeah. Any final thoughts before we really get into this thing?
Let's do it.
I will say that...
Oh, nice. He just has to pipe in again. No, I'm just kidding.
Nope, you were able to say something a half a second after him, so you're right. I'm done. Fuck both of you. Anyway, the music is wall-to-wall, and it is tall, shaggy carpet, and it's great. I think it's the best part of this thing. Howard Shore
yeah.
did the zaniest... Like, they said, I want, like fish slappy dance kind of soundtrack here. And a guy who scored all of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, Seven. I mean, you're one of the greatest composers in the history of filmmaking. Did something completely atypical, not even anything like he normally does. You would think it was Danny Elfman almost, except for the way the instrumentation that he's using to make this zany soundtrack is nothing like the same instrumentation that Danny Elfman uses. So I applaud Howard Shore for his efforts.
I will also applaud the cinematography and the set design.
Yeah.
The costume designer and the makeup designer did not do a good job, but there was people that did good jobs on this film. And again, the acting, with the exception of Ed Begley Jr., but we'll get into it.
Ed Begley Jr. is not good, so we can't have... You can't blame Ed Begley Jr.
He does as good as he can do.
He does what he does.
Well, he's definitely not a man to fight over. I will give you that.
Yeah, the art direction and the cinematography were very... In the suburbia elements were very reminiscent of Edward Scissorhands or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that. The movie starts out with a very crowded shot of a makeup counter that I can only assume to be at Macy's. Ladies are spraying each other in the face with probably awful smelling real estate agent style perfume, and huge makeup brushes are going on to people, and girls appear to be putting makeup on other girls that don't work there, and
There's just makeup everywhere.
and
They may as well be wearing overalls and using rollers to put it on each other.
yes, yeah, I don't want to go here.
No,
I'm going to steer clear at
that's
this
why
section
I
at the
never
mall.
go to the mall. Yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy is that that's still. I know
Happens.
you guys don't go to the mall very much, but that's still very much the culture of a mall.
Mhm.
You know, that makeup counter and that perfume area are right next to each other. So yeah, you see women in there all the time getting fancy.
Right. Roseanne comes on making a little bit of commentary about these people that they're. Some people are born
Yeah.
with features that can be accentuated via makeup and the perfume and get gussied up and look amazing. She is not one of those people.
It's the first time of many times where the film says to me, the viewer, I'm going to make a statement about, and in this case is the expectations of beauty. And then it completely abandons that idea
Correct.
within 3 minutes.
Absolutely. Her character, Ruth, is frumpy and bad hair. She's got a huge mole.
Giant mole.
And you know that thing has hair growing out of it.
Well, it doesn't because it's makeup, because Roseanne Barr does not have a giant mole on her face.
Well, I think you're supposed to think that though, because she's in there shaving it with a dude razor.
Yeah. I found the giant mole completely unnecessary
Sure.
and mildly offensive.
I thought it was super gross.
This is mole.
Yeah. But she's going to do her best because she's got a big fancy affair tonight with her husband, Bob, played by Ed Begley Jr.
A soiree, if you will.
Yeah. Bob is a
Accountant.
accountant. How does Bob get looped into these fancy schmancy events?
I don't know. Bob's character, Bob doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense the whole time.
Hey, there you go.
Is he a big time accountant? Why is he driving a Subaru Justy?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think
Is
he's
he?
a big time accountant. I
Then
think
how
that
does he get invited to these things, Jackie?
These soirees.
I'm kind of thinking that maybe this is a soiree that he pulled, you know, like somebody owed him a favor. He did their books for him. He helped him evade some tax stuff. And he was like, look, you know, there's this thing coming up and I want to get into the star business and you're going to put me on this guest list. And I'm going to spend every fucking dime I've got on a halfway decent tuxedo that doesn't look like it came
It's
from.
not a very good tuxedo.
No.
It's not. It's the one. of the shittiest
However,
tuxedos.
I will say that the film itself would lead me to believe that he owns that tuxedo
Okay.
because of his behaviors post-party, and that we never see anything about a rented tux. Like
Yeah.
it's probably, even though it's a shitty tux, he still owns a tux, so this isn't his first rodeo.
So she gets done up as best as possible, and she's getting her hair greased or dried, or I don't know.
Screwed.
Yeah.
She's getting her hair screwed.
Yeah.
They look like
Piston.
rollers, but they're... Are those a thing, Jackie? Is it like a tight perm? Is that what
I've
that
never
is?
seen rollers like that ever. They might have been part of the beauty industry back then.
They look like drill bits.
They look
Yeah.
like, what they look like to me are those, if you have like commercial buildings where the sheetrock is over an inch thick, they look like the wall anchors that you use on sheetrock that's really thick.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those.
Cause hard-working folks listen to Stinker Man.
Well, we've
Blue-collar
all
people.
we all have drywall in our homes.
We all put in drywall. We all are drywall installers, Sam.
No, the little anchors that you use to hang pictures and shit.
Oh, okay. That's not what you said.
Yes, that's what a drywall anchor is.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. But
I'd like to apologize to anyone who's not as much of a dullard as our host because they know what a drywall anchor is.
I know all three of our fans. None of them do drywall.
They don't. You drywall. You're hanging a fucking picture. Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, she's there and she sees an ad for Mary Fisher, which is Meryl Streep's character. Mary Fisher is a Danielle Steele type lady, very successful romance schmutt novel. I guess Danielle Steele is a little bit better than at
What?
writing than she is. She writes books that
What
would
is-
have Fabio on the cover.
What does Danielle Steele write?
She writes mystery romances that don't have Fabio on the cover.
Where's the wiener? I think it's in the vagina.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some mild sex in Danielle Steele's book, but the difference is that Danielle Steele is good enough to have books that are in hardbound. I don't think that Mary Fisher is. I think she's got paperback schmutt novels that have Fabio on the
She's
cover.
selling twice in this film hardbound books.
Yeah, and Roseanne Barr is reading the hardbound book.
Okay, fine, whatever. Again, this is not reality. You would find Mary Fisher's books at maybe Target, maybe Walmart.
I see Danielle Steele's books at Target and Walmart.
Sure, but you wouldn't find Mary Fisher's books at, say, a place where you buy books
An establishment
that have smart
of
people.
sophistication and class.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Barnes and Nobles has a whole big ass section
They've
of
got-
sexy romance
yeah,
time.
I'm not
books.
saying Barnes and Noble. Anyways, I just don't think she's as prolific as, say, the Danielle Steele. I'm trying to not throw Danielle Steele under the bus
Yeah.
because she's the fourth most successful author on the planet. Mary Fisher is not that,
No, she isn't.
but
And
she's
I've read-
making a good living.
She's
Yeah,
rich
I've
as
read-
shit.
Yeah, and I've read Danielle Steele books. I some of them are okay.
Okay.
They usually find the wiener, though, don't they?
Yeah, I do.
So her and Bob go to this party, and sure as shit, Ruth bumps into Mary quite literally,
Mm-hmm.
spills her drink on her. Oh, Bob is here. Let me clean you up, and then they look into each other's eyes and they fall in love immediately.
Immediately, because I don't know. I mean, even as a man, I look at Ed Begley Jr. and go, "Hoy, the sex!"
Is there anything good about Ed Begley Jr. that a woman might fall instantly in love with his face?
No.
I'm sure he's a very nice man.
And you see his buns in this movie. Spoiler alert, not hot cross buns.
Yeah, well, Mary Fisher, who could probably have basically any guy she wanted.
She has a sex butler.
She has a sex butler already. Foreign guy.
Garcia.
Muscly.
Yeah, Garcia the buff dude.
Greasy with fantastic hair, who lives on her property and bangs her, yet she chooses Ed Begley. It's
Yeah, no.
So again, Jackie, reality that we live in, not the same reality that
so-
she lives in.
I don't know. I mean, look at Katy Perry. She married that Russell
He's-
Brand guy.
He was flavor of the month at that point.
Yes,
She
and
dropped his ass like a hot rock the second he wasn't, too.
Women always say that they love a man that's funny, and then it turns out that they don't.
She found out that he actually wasn't funny.
It could also be
He's also tall. Ed Begley is tall.
Ed Begley's tall.
There you go. He's got that. Women like tall guys.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So let me help you clean this up. I'll go for a walk, and then I will give you a ride home to your house that's 75 miles away from mine.
How does she get down there without a ride? Sure. Did she leave her car there on
Maybe
purpose?
she gets a limo. Maybe it's a red carpet jobber, and she just doesn't take the limo back.
Yeah, because she wants an excuse to get him back
Yeah.
to her house.
And if there's no, and let me tell you out there, if you're a mediocre looking dude and you're ready to seal the deal with a woman way out of your league, give her a ride home in a Subaru Justy.
Yep. Women love Subaru Justies.
There's nothing that gets panties wet like a 3-door. Yes.
When you try to hump in them, usually your legs have to go out the window.
Oh, sure.
You're going to get cramps and
You can't
probably injure
Have
yourself.
sex on the roof or the hood even.
No, it's just too
There's no place on that car.
slopey.
No, you all that is a sprained wrist trying to give a tug job and somebody gets a black eye.
I am surprised that Ed Begley can even drive this automobile.
It's very surprising.
It's doesn't make any sense.
well, and his wife's in the back seat.
Yes.
And
But
then he doesn't even bother to like take her all the way to the house. He's just like, get the fuck out, like at the beginning of the neighborhood. She's like, okay, I guess I can walk.
Well, I think we can all see where this is going. Ed Begley Jr. and Mary Fisher begin an affair. It's quite,
I like her move.
yeah.
She doesn't like there's not a lot of contact between the two of them and she just grabs his dick.
Pretty much.
And he holds it there.
He's like, "Yep, you know what to do. All right. You could have done this in the Justy."
It's 4:30 back in the Bob and Ruth house, and Ruth is up reading Mary Schmutt books, and Ed is not home. Bob is not home. He doesn't even come home until the next morning.
But it's okay because she's got a box of donuts.
Yeah, to make her feel better about herself, I guess. But when Bob comes home the next day, he blames it on getting a flat tire, and it was far too late, so he just got a hotel.
Yeah. Which I think one of the kids alluded to the fact that he was going to blame it on something. Because this is a weird spot in the filmmaking where it's done. Not a weird spot because it's done a bad job. It's done a bad job already several times to this point. But they expect us to know that Bob is a cheater at this point, and we don't really... I hadn't picked that up.
Yeah, that is true. Like, you don't really pick it up until she says, yeah, he did it to her just like he did it to me.
Yeah, it's that Bob's been doing this for a while, to the point that the kids know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's never around, and he's always got some excuse to cover up where he's been.
Yeah.
And he's always working late.
But Ruth gets the hint. She's got a inkling. She's got women's intuition that she's having an affair with Mary Fisher. But she's like, you know what? It's fine. I'm going to do my wifely duties as best as I can, raise the kids, cook the dinners, clean the house, and he'll get tired of Mary Fisher someday and come back to me.
This
Something
sounds like a
that.
shitty plan.
It's a shitty plan.
Yeah. The affair just grows. They just get more wild and crazy with their sexings. And Mary now wants him to leave Ruth and come live with her.
Yeah.
He's now working for Ruth as her agent?
Working for Mary.
Mary, sorry, yeah.
As her accountant, because he's an accountant.
Yeah, but he's also now her manager.
Maybe. I never figured that out, or whether he just wanted to move into accounting for talent. It was unclear.
I don't know. A talent manager, accounting manager. I don't know.
Now, he's her accountant because he steals her money later. That's the only way he could do that. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Bob's parents are coming over for dinner, and he's quite anxious about what kind of performance that Ruth is going to put on, what kind of how she's going to make them feel at home and good and have a good cooked meal and not embarrass him in front of his mom and dad. And he's just being an overall giant fucking dick.
Yeah, no, don't embarrass me in front of my parents, because I haven't done that to myself 1,000 times because I'm every human ever.
Because we just got married a week ago and they've never met you. No, you've been married for at least 8 years. These kids, the daughter's probably in her teens. You guys have been married for 15 years. They have been coming over for dinner for 15 fucking years, and you're like, don't embarrass me in front of them.
Yeah.
Well, and it's...
I think the daughter's probably 15.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, Bob.
Because later Garcia tries to bang her.
Even if you're...
Yep.
Even if you're a total dick, now you're a bitchy little dick because you're worried about what your parent, like, oh, gee, I hope my parents like me after today. Go fuck yourself, Bob.
Yeah.
No, he's just using it as another layer to justify what he's about to do. That's all he's doing, is
All right.
trying to ease his own guilt.
Well, she's bringing out some apps, and she...
Some apps.
Yeah, some apps.
You fucking asshole.
Appetizers.
Which he yells at her for because it's just cheese and crackers and vegetables.
Yeah, that sucks, man. You live in the fucking suburbs. What were you expecting?
He does a good job catching them, though.
Yeah, I think they were glued onto the tray.
Well, they had to be.
Yeah.
She trips and almost dumps him and he catches them. She's burnt something in the kitchen. Can't really tell what she's burnt, but things are not going well. It's dinner time for the main course, and she opens it up, and inside is the little boy's hamster.
Whoops.
Oh, God. She's like, I'll get a strainer. That was like the best line ever. I'll get a strainer.
How does this hamster get into this bowl of gravy with a lid on it?
I don't know.
Well, he's at the very top, too.
Yeah.
So he probably jumped in. She wasn't paying attention, threw the thing on.
How does it die, though?
It
It
gets
should
cooked.
just be in there.
It,
Well, if
then it
gets-
would be cooked.
Yeah,
It's not clearly not cooked.
It's just dead.
It's just a dead hamster.
This doesn't make it. It's either that hamster's in hog heaven, or gerbil, I think it was, or it's cooked, and it's neither of those things.
Or someone put it there. That's the only way they bonked it on the head and then put it in the gravy.
That's right.
In the library with the candlestick.
Eat your heart out, Danielle Steele. We're looking for a murderer of a gerbil, not just what's in Ricardo's pants.
She exposes Bob's affair. They get in a fight, and she's like, "Fuck you, I know you're sleeping with Mary Fisher." She exposes him as a cheater in front of his parents, and he's like, "You know what? That's enough. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I'm going to go live with Mary."
And then the parents decide to go to Taco Bell or something.
Well, this is also when we find out that the only reason he ever married her was because she was pregnant.
That's true. That is true. It's a shotgun wedding because his dad told him that he needed to.
Yeah, that he had to. And so he married her.
On the way out, he calls her a she-devil. Hey, that's the name of the movie.
Yep.
Fucking dumb.
And he says that she was the biggest regret he ever had.
She snaps a little. She blames Mary for this whole thing, and she makes a destroy Bob's life list.
Only 4 points, so it's a pretty concise list.
Yeah, and these are the 4 things that he's been telling her that are important to him.
His home, his family, his career, and his freedom. It's an odd list. So she's going to start by burning the house down. And I fucking hate this sequence.
She burns it down 10 times.
She explodes herself inside this house. She sets so many arson traps. I don't know if they're arson traps.
Traceable
devices.
arson devices.
Yeah, they're traceable. There's very limited time that you would have to get out of the house before death happens, but she keeps like setting them up and like putting on her makeup and packing her fucking shit up and like checking the answering machine and like seeing what the Facebook feed looks like because it's 1989 and they have that. And yes, it's a joke, Jackie. I know that didn't happen in the movie.
Oh. Thanks, Bob.
She should have exploded with the
Yeah,
house.
I thought it was all dumb, but sort of didn't care until the house doesn't explode until the microwave is done cooking the paint.
Yeah. Ding.
Ding. And I was like,
Oh,
okay, well,
fuck
that's
you.
just stupid.
Fuck you. This is shit that should be in like a Home Alone movie. Like, come on. We're fucking adults here. What the fuck do you think we don't fucking know about shit? Fuck. I don't even know what anchor
Well, the
bolts
blue
are.
screen for the explosion was just ridiculous.
Not good.
It looks awful and stupid and unnecessary and
then-
not funny.
They even have her on a lazy Susan because she doesn't turn around naturally. They sort of like turn her around from the bottom to see, and then
Yeah, she doesn't even walk away from the explosion.
she can't. She's on a lazy Susan.
Turns around and looks at it. That's the ultimate not badass move. Next step is the family. So she's going to drop the kids off at Mary's house and leave them there with Bob. Is this a good move?
It's a perfect move.
Well, it works, but does this make you a good mother?
I don't think she cares about that.
Uh-huh.
At this point, none of the characters have clear motivations.
True.
Well, I don't know that it makes her a bad mom, though, because honestly, the kids can go live in a fucking hotel with her and scum it up because she doesn't have a job, right? And she's got nothing.
Well,
Or she can push him off on the dad,
Yeah.
who's living in a billionaire's house.
So by your
in a
argument,
mansion.
the only way to be a good parent is just to be materialistic. Not to actually be a good parent. Just have money around you. Because Bob is a piece of shit, Jackie. He lies to them. He's mean to them. He's a fucking cheater. He cares nothing about them. But that's a good environment for them to grow up in.
Well, after she blows up the house, she's sort of got limited options.
Yeah, she's going to go to jail.
Yeah, so, I mean, at this point, post blowing up the house, I guess you take him to Mary's. Because if she wants to be a good mom, what is step one?
Don't blow up
Don't
the house.
blow up the house.
Yeah.
So she's already
File for divorce. Take all the money.
crossed that bridge and burned it behind her.
Yeah. He's having an affair. He's not going to get to keep anything. Hire an attorney, sue for divorce, move on with your life. But she doesn't. She blows up the house and then drops her kids and says, "Good luck, Billy and Susie. I hope you like fucking living with your dad in a rich bitch's house."
Which they do.
Yeah. Because they're little assholes.
They are little assholes.
They are the product of Bob and Ruth, and that's no surprise that they're little fucking dipshits. They find Mary and Bob banging in the pool.
Under a giant pink mosquito net? I don't know what's happening
With bubble
here.
bath in it.
Yeah, this is silly.
Garcia's going to have a busy afternoon cleaning up all the stuff.
Garcia doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. Her next plan is to find Mary's mom, because now she's going to take down Mary as well, even though she's only got a list for Bob. So she gets a job at the old folks' home where she's staying at under an assumed identity, and as a nurse or whatever the hell you call it. Orderly, yeah.
Revenge by orderly. That's what I wrote down.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
And she picks her name, Rose.
Okay. She picks her nose. Rose. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, they make a big fucking deal about her name change. What? Who gives a fucking shit? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Somebody thinks in this movie, oh, this is important. It doesn't matter. She replaces the sedatives that they're feeding the old people to keep them the opposite of lucid. What is that?
Tranquilized?
Tranquilized, yeah.
Yeah, she replaces their tranquilizers with some hot vitamins.
Yeah.
Which is,
Go nuts,
again,
vitamins.
like, maybe this is the 80s and they're still able to give a Fedra over the counter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is these old people are now fucking hopped up on meth.
Yeah. Yeah, they're on the map.
They're having a great time.
Playing soccer, and it's against the rules. Now they're just too crazy. They can't be handled, and, well, let's let them do it, other nurse. What is the point of her doing this?
She's getting the blood flowing back so that Mary's mom realizes that she doesn't need to be in a home.
Okay. All right. I got you. Okay.
But as a byproduct, she's also, making it the hottest retirement home in all of Connecticut, say?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea where this thing takes place. Oh, it's in New York.
Okay.
But this could be in Connecticut. You
Could be
never
anywhere.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids are driving Mary crazy. She can't get any work done. They're loud and obnoxious and stupid and distracting and
Blasting their ghetto blasters.
yeah, breaking all the rules.
So maybe she likes to type out on the deck.
Mhm.
You've got one kid listening to shit music, and you've got another kid playing with two dogs. You just put yourself in between them to try to get something done. That's on you. Go to the other side of the house. You've got a mansion. Go someplace quiet. There's a quiet place there.
I don't know.
As shitty as these kids are, take your Zenith typewriter and go somewhere else.
I guess yeah. I don't know. I'd still be like,
She's-
get the fuck out of here, kids.
Well, I mean, she could take all three of them and be like, get the fuck out.
I probably would have dumped Bob the instant that those children showed up.
Well, and if you wanted Bob and not the kids, send them off to private school. That's such an easy fix.
Again, wanting Bob. He's just
Yeah.
not worth it.
I mean, I'm not gay, and I'm like, dude, Garcia, really?
Yeah.
Garcia, he's right there. You pay him to have sex.
You could
with
tell him to shut the fuck up.
and he's going to do it.
You pay him. It's retarded. Bob calls Mary from the phone, car phone. Hey, how's it going? Unfortunately, Bob has my car. So I'm a dickhead.
Yeah. Oh no.
He drives the same car I do.
Sure. Yeah.
It's really unfortunate for me.
Yep.
Good thing this film doesn't have anything realistic in it, because I'm sure that anybody else that drives a Jag XJS is a very nice and intelligent person.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
sure.
that this is opposite world in this film, so I'm going to let this go. The boy is playing with the dog still, and she's yelling at him, and here, fucking throw this. So he fucking chucks a stick, and
Off of a cliff.
Off of the cliff, and her dog Fluffy jumps after it to its death. Hilarious. Nope.
Gets a nice gravestone, though.
It does get a very nice, elaborate tombstone.
Yeah, like that's better than what most people get ever.
Sure. Yeah. Back at the nursing home, Ruth convinces Mary to pay, or Mrs. Mary, I don't know even her fucking name.
Mary's mom?
Mary's mom to pay her a visit, to pay Mary a visit. And so she drips pee-pee in her bed.
Dumps a bunch of pee-pee in the bed because the lady who runs the old folks home is a stickler about incontinence.
You can't be incontinent and live at the old folks home.
No, not this one.
But we're going to pump them full of sedatives, which means that they have no control over their own anything.
Who knows?
But you can't pee or poop in your bed. If they can't pee or poop in their bed,
Why do they all have bedpans?
why do they all have fucking bedpans?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
This is not a nursing home. If you open a nursing home, you're going to have pee-pee beds. That's just how it works. I shit my pants 2 times a week, and I'm in my 30s.
There you go.
It just gets worse from here.
Oh. Okay.
Explains why the laundry's always going.
You can't do this. You can't throw somebody out of your fucking nursing home for being incontinent. Here's another problem with this film. If Mary had her put in there when she was not sedated, she could do so again. And you can fucking call your ombudsman, your state ombudsman, whose job is it to ensure that old folks do not get kicked out of old folks' homes.
Yeah.
So, not knowing how the fucking world works, this fucking film pisses me off.
Well, they actually are all built in now. Because of that, the ombudsman, they have a higher level of care wing. Now, the way that they get you out of if they don't want you at the old folks home is that they have the other, 24-hour care wing is so outrageously expensive. They're like, we're moving them to a different home.
Yeah.
But
that's
they
not
don't
a
do
problem
any
for
of
Mary.
this.
That's not a problem for Mary.
No, she just gets kicked out and moves into her
Oh, I guess I don't have a choice. You have to live with me now, Mom. No, you do have a choice. I understand you're being a bitch, but, dude, fuck this movie. Garcia, the pool boy, the butler, the man bang guy.
The bang maid man.
He's not really liking the new arrangement with Bob and the kids and this loosey-goosey, no rules society that's happening at Mary's house. So he's basically now just on strike.
I don't even know if he's on strike or if he's just being an asshole because he knows he could get away with it.
Well, he's not getting banged anymore, and he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
But he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. You do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to pick shit up. I'm not going to answer the door. I'm just going to lounge around in the pool and throw wild parties in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And get paid, I guess, still.
He's seeing how hot he can make the water before he has to get out.
Why doesn't she just say, okay, you're fired?
Because good help is so hard to find.
It's not.
And she's found some bad help, and she's ready to hold on to it.
She's found no help at all because he's not doing anything other than getting a paycheck and filling up one of the bedrooms.
Yeah, well, he goes swimming.
Ding dong, Mom's here. All right. Turns out that Mary is older than Bob thought. He thinks she's 34. It turns out she's 41.
41.
Oh,
RMG.
Oh, he starts getting looks in his eyes like, oh, I don't know about that.
Hashtag traded it in for a younger model.
Doesn't matter, Bob?
Yeah, here's the guy that just doesn't know when he's playing with house money.
Dude, you're complaining about this situation. You have gone, not better women, because I think that both of these women suck, but clearly your financial situation is probably as good as it's going to get in your life. Maybe you just go, oh, okay, 41's fine with me, and then count those zeros in your bank account, you dipshit.
Yeah.
What is this guy's fucking deal?
He's a moron.
He's an idiot.
like most men.
Except Garcia. Garcia knows the score.
Yeah, Garcia
How
does know the score.
Dare you? How dare you?
But for this time frame,
At the end of this, I'm going to defend women greatly, and you just made me not want to.
what I'm saying though is at this time when this movie was made,
Most men were assholes.
it was the culture.
No, it wasn't. There's always been bad people, Jackie, in any group at any time. It's so much smaller than the good people. It's just Hollywood makes it always seem like everybody's a fucking piece of shit. Most guys in movies are assholes? Okay. You need to clarify that a little bit before you offend the 99% of our demographic.
Except for Garcia. That guy's solid.
Yeah. What a great guy.
No, I mean, he's not an idiot. He knows the score.
Yeah.
Garcia knows what's up.
I don't know. He's gambling a little bit too much. I wouldn't take these chances. I'd probably do my job a little bit. Maybe back off just a touch, see what I can get away with, but I wouldn't just stop and be like, well, what is she going to do? Fire me? Yes.
Yeah?
That's not smart.
Well, he's already not doing his job anymore. He was hired to bang her, not really.
So he's already fired.
He's just getting paychecks until he's not anymore.
I don't want to know. Ruth is still working at the old folks' home. She's hanging around this Cooper lady, and they're like, let's have sweets together, because that's so naughty, and now we're going to be besties.
Yeah, they have a little moment, and now they're best friends, and then the lady that runs the place is like, Code Red, PP.
What? You're fired. Why are you even still here? Because Mom is at Mary's.
No, Mom's at Mary's a long time before she gets fired.
I understand. Why is she even still working there?
Because she hasn't been, the PP had not yet been found until after they have their bestie moment.
Mom is gone. She's not in the home. She's at Mary's.
Sure.
She's staying there.
She's not there all the way until they find the PP.
She's spent nights there.
Maybe,
Yeah,
but
dude, they've got to seal the deal so that she can't go back to the home.
Fuck off. Come up with a better. I'll just sit here and work at the old folks' home. Hope this all goes according to plan. Her plan sucks.
it doesn't even take that long. I think you're hung up on an odd moment there.
There's day transitions. It doesn't make any sense. And it's just like so she can become friends with Cooper because Cooper's so fucking cool.
Well,
no,
Cooper has money.
I'm sorry.
She has money.
I didn't. What? When did? Huh?
Because of their bestie moment, you find out she's got $55,000.
That's not that much money.
It's enough for, I guess, their plan.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go with your theory because I do remember
It's
the
not a
55,000.
theory. That's exactly what happens.
I
in the
know,
movie.
but well, again, reality coming in later. Mary's getting an interview with People magazine. Ooh, you're so successful and wonderful, and things are not happening well with the household. The People magazine has provided Yoo-hoo and Twinkies, which I would be all about.
It was easy cheese.
Easy cheese, Twinkies,
Yeah.
and Yoo-hoo. And she gets a call about the pee-pee incident at the old folks' home, but so the People magazine's like, well, I'll go talk to her mom and find out what I can find out. And her mom tells People magazine all sorts of secrets about Mary.
Yep, she's 41. She's got an illegitimate child.
She was a huge slut.
She's a huge slut.
This adopted son thing never pays off.
No.
No.
Great. Glad that was in the movie. Ruth and Cooper run away, and they lease a building in downtown New York that needs some TLC.
It's fucked up.
And so they do. They have a renovation montage. It sucks. Ooh, renovation hijinks.
Yep. Fast motion Benny Hill. Only not funny.
Only not funny. So they found the Vesta Rose Employment Agency that is catering to women who have not been appreciated and need a little help in the success department.
And here we go with another point where you're like, okay, wait, they're going to make a point about women in the workplace. And and the value and the glass ceiling. No, they just have this fucking sideshow that happens, and it doesn't really say anything.
Then the whole thing is just part of her plan to fuck Bob over. She's using the women, not bettering them in any way, just finding them places where she needs them to be located at so that she can get fucking revenge on Bob.
Yeah, she sets up, she becomes a supervillain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she could do anything.
Yes.
She has a fight club organization ready to topple the entire American government, and she uses it to fuck over Bob again. Are you kidding? Bob's an idiot. Who cares about Bob?
You could do whatever you wanted here.
Anything.
Not to mention you've gone from not being an employment agency to the top women's employment agency in the world overnight by tossing some ads off of a building.
She has a woman inside of every major building in New York City.
Wherever she needs.
Wherever she needs anyone
whether they're
to
hiring
be.
or not.
And she uses it to get Bob. Bob.
They get TV ads. I know this is 1989. Downtown lease, TV spots,
Well,
$55,000 plus the cost of renovating this place.
Well, the $50,000 goes into renovating it, then you have to pay the employment agency.
It's gone.
No, I mean, but that, like, in terms of real world, once she has all these women in there, she's getting percentages of that.
I understand that.
She's doing fine.
No, it's overnight, Sam.
Oh, no, it happened over months.
They spend all the money on renovation. They toss some ads off the building. They're an overnight success, and now they're the number one thing in the world that can have television ads. No, it doesn't work like that. $55,000 is not enough to start this employment agency.
Sure.
Bullshit. Bob has slipped one of the ads. And he thinks...
It seems to be a catered for Bob ad because
Yeah.
it's got a bikini lady on it.
Bikini lady. Hey, you need a bookkeeper that's got some big old bibbies?
Yep.
Call us. We've got them. So he's like, oh, I will. And so she sends him the perfect woman.
This woman that obviously that plays her cards, that lays her cards on the table. I want to find a rich man, fall in love with him, get him to marry me.
By the way, I'm also I'm quite good at bookkeeping.
Quite good at bookkeeping. I can type 100 words a minute. I'm superior office skills, but because I'm a woman in the 80s, I can only hope to be successful by marriage.
Or just be a whore.
And that would, but then Ruth uses her worse than any man could.
Ruth has sent her in as a spy to get Bob to cheat on his mistress with this new bookkeeper, start an affair with her, and then she breaks the whole thing up. She convinces her to tell Bob that she loves him,
knowing that Bob will immediately fire
her, break her heart, destroy her feelings, probably give her a serious complex about everything, her self-worth, whether she'd even fucking stick around trying to make it in this goddamn crazy world.
Jumped off a bridge right after that.
She might have fucking jumped off a bridge.
For all we know, she did.
Jesus Christ, you fucking horrible person.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? She did not jump off a bridge. She helped Roseanne get into his office.
Yeah. What happens after that?
Splash. And that's the last you see of Mitch Connor.
Oh.
That was her. She wasn't actually a woman. She was
Mitch Connor, undercover dude, bro. I was gonna bust up the whole thing, man. Then I fell for Bob. He's so fucking dreamy.
Oh, Begley.
We need to bring Mitch Connor, undercover dude, bro, back. The next time we have a insignificant female character, it'll actually be Mitch Connor, undercover dude, bro.
So Bob comes back, and him and Mary getting a big old fight, and she's devastated by his now being just like he was with Ruth. And Mitch Connor and Ruth break into his office and find out that he's been embezzling small amounts of money, and they then make those small amounts of money significant amounts of money.
Did you notice, though, that he has, like, a lot of money in that Swiss bank account. It was over $1 million
already to begin
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but they just the one transaction that we get to see is for $200,000 that they fake embezzle for him, but they do this to a number of his clients. So they probably embezzle at least like $2 or $3 million.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We know that they get whatever 200 or 300,000 out of Mary's account.
Yeah. Right.
Which probably doesn't go back in there.
Probably doesn't. Mary's having troubles with her book. It's not selling. It's called Love in the Rinse Cycle.
Yeah.
Because she's writing about romance with kids around.
Their new life.
Yeah. Doesn't sell. Doesn't work. She's now not successful. Ruth sends her evidence of Bob's treason, her fair photocopier pics of Mitch Connor's butt.
It's still like, you could be like, really? This is evidence of something? What's your ring? Yeah, what's everything else?
Yeah.
Prove to me.
Are those the WDMDs? Oh my God, we finally found them.
found those. Good, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Is that Sasquatch? I'm
not-
pretty sure it's Sasquatch.
It's not a very good advertisement for the Xerox company.
Meanwhile, Zenith is just killing them in the computer department.
Well, it came in pink. Who wouldn't buy that?
The maid quits. Garcia gets fired because he's throwing a party. Finally gets fired.
He
and
only gets
tries to-
fired because he's trying to bang the
trying
15-year-old
to bang
daughter.
the 15-year-old daughter.
Or has been for some time.
Now Mary's laying down the law, but Ruth calls the IRS. Hot tip about somebody I know. And Mary's throwing a lavish party, because I guess now that things are going poorly in her life, let's throw a major party.
Major party. See how things shake. Shake the tree, see what falls out, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yep. What falls out is Bob
Yeah, he does.
out of her house because he gets arrested by the IRS.
Yep.
Yep.
His lawyer's like, it's fine, not a big deal. This judge, he's a pony boy. I'll talk to him this weekend, and we'll call it a computer glitch.
I'm going to burn a question right here.
Mhm.
From the moment that Bob is arrested and brought out of the house, how long does it take for Ruth to come get her fucking kids?
She doesn't.
She does not. She
has-
doesn't until the end of the fucking movie.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know any of this.
No.
So we just don't know how long she leaves the kids there.
Mm-mm.
Could have been the whole time.
Ay.
Not good. So Mary's back to being mad at him because she found out that $200,000 was of her money that got pulled into his Swiss bank account. So she fires him. They're done. Ruth has one of her girls, her employment agencies, switch the judge, pony boy, to a different judge that doesn't have the loosey-goosey punishment for white-collar crimes that the previous one did.
Nope.
Judge Brown.
Judge Brown.
Who happens to be a black lady.
Yep, which I thought was in poor taste.
I thought it was in very poor taste. So he's guilty. Oh, we should mention that the lawyer doesn't know that they've switched the judge until the day of the trial.
Well, she didn't switch the judge until the day of the trial.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that...
Either way, they're all dickheads.
Yeah, they're all dickheads. You're just going to switch... The day of the trial, fucking judge other guy has been looking through all the notes, and then he goes to the board to see what case I'm assigned. Oh, damn! Wow, I didn't read that right. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, no, they just go by the big board.
That's so
The
stupid.
board is king.
That is so stupid.
If it's not on that board, it's not real.
Bullshit. So he's guilty, and he gets 18 months. Mary sells her home. Then the kids go and visit Bob in prison. It's been 16 months. He's getting out in 2.
Yeah.
So it's been some time.
Well, not to mention that if we're really going to get hung up on the legal thing, you end up in there more than just the one time.
Oh, in court?
Yeah. If you're a major criminal
Yeah.
who's embezzled money, You have to go more than the once.
More than the one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because don't you get charged for each count of embezzlement?
Well, he didn't.
You have an arraignment, then you have bail posting, then you have a very long trial.
He showed up to sentencing.
Oh, and your plea day.
Yeah,
He
your
showed up
plea
to
date. He showed up for what should have been a plea date and is sentenced to 18 months.
Two
in
words were
jail.
spoken in this whole trial. Guilty, 18 months.
Yep.
That's it.
It's fucking ridiculous.
So they visit Bob in prison, and he's like, "Hey, it's good to see you guys. Maybe I can, once I get out of here in a couple months, maybe I can stop by and we can all have dinner." She's like, "That'd be nice, Bob." I'm sorry, what?
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh.
Mary writes a new book. This one is not a sexy Fabio book. It's a docudrama, she calls it, about women stuff.
I don't know.
I think it was loosely based off of her experience with Bob.
Yeah. Being cheated on and being in bad relationships, I believe.
Being on Sally Jesse Raphael.
being
Wait,
on-
that comes afterwards.
Oh my God, and the glasses that she's wearing are just horrific. They're very 70s, which I don't understand why she has a pair of 70s glasses
She's
on.
supposed to now look like she's not in the fast life. She's not seeking the attention of fans. She's just an author.
Oh. Well, okay.
It's like phase 3 of Pacino.
I mean, but when you're that pretty, just go with it.
She
Who,
can't.
Sally Jesse?
Hot.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
care
that's
that her-
exactly who I was talking
Her
about.
head looks like she got electrocuted. I'd still have sex with her.
Ruth goes and gets a signed copy of the new book, and they kind of. Mary's like, you look familiar.
She's about to put it together, but then some fucking guy in a suit who's barely handsome shows up and is like, metaphor, yeah. And she's like, ew, do me.
Googly.
Grr.
Back to where I was earlier. And then Roseanne walks out, gives us some shtick about how she's awesome and how she led womankind to a better world.
But that's what, again, they're like walking, there's all these women walking down Times Square, and you're like, yeah, you forgot to make that movie.
Yeah, you didn't
You
make
didn't
that
make
movie.
that movie. You
made
forgot to.
an insult to women.
Yeah.
Well, I think you left out the most important part of the book signing. When they gave Roseanne Barr red eyes.
Yeah,
Just
again,
for a brief second of flash.
Because she's fucking
the she
evil.
devil.
the devil.
No, she's not evil. She's just a fucking moron. Let's address the primary problem I have with this film, and then I want to get into some other ones. Does anything happen? Is the end result of this film any different from the start of this film?
No, there's no character arc.
Bob and her get back together?
I don't know about
That's
that.
what the movie makes you think. Like, that sounds nice, Bob. Let's have dinner. What the fuck are you talking about, lady?
Yeah.
This isn't the first time he's fucked up your life. It's established in the beginning of the movie that he's done it before.
And let's really be realistic. Bob gets done with his 18 months. He's got like $1.5 million.
Uh-huh.
He's gone.
He's gone. He's going to do the same fucking thing over and over and over again. Mary, her character doesn't change because she does go through a change, and then it takes one fucking doofy guy for her to be like,
Yeah.
Does womankind benefit from any of the actions in this film?
Not really.
No, they get all those ladies. I bet you get fucking fired because they're fucking doing a shitty job at their work because they're just working for Mary or Ruth.
They're all plants.
Fuck off! Horse shit. It is supposed to be a women empowerment film. Like, hey, girls, we don't have to take this shit from our shitty husbands anymore because we're 90s women now. We can make it to the top. We're just as good as them. Which, all of those things are fucking true. But this movie does none of those statements.
It does none of those things. And I
Well-
think that actually one of the reasons is it's that three-way thing that happens. I think that's one of the reasons why Seibelman has such a hard time getting work after this is because she was difficult. She tried to make this movie. I bet she got thrown off of it. I bet Second Unit probably does a certain amount of redoing the way that the producers want to tell the story. So where you were saying from the beginning, is it the script? Is it this? I think that it's the three parts pulling against each other. Give us what we get here. Not necessarily one bad voice doing a poor job storytelling. It's too many cooks in the kitchen and three wires pulling hard. They all snap and the ball shoots across the room.
Yeah, I definitely agree that there's an opportunity for this to be dark humor. There is an opportunity for this to be pure comedy, and it's confused about what it is and where it's going.
I can get behind your men in ties making bad decisions theory, because it is so fucking offensive towards women, in the grand scheme of things.
And disjointed.
I could see men in ties making like, oh, we'll just do this.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is supposed to be something different, you fucking pricks.
Well, come and get a great job with Delta Rose as a secretary to some fucking douchebag.
Just because I'm fucking evil and an exploitive bitch. No. This is, to me, as offensive as either Tommy Boy or Supergirl. Nope.
Yeah.
Guys, I know that this is the 80s. Jesus, you're horrible to women. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's real bad.
Questions? Do you want to do the keep an eye out for us?
Well, yeah, let's do the keep an eye out for us first. Because I burned both my... Bob still has a Swiss account and the how long does it take to get the kid. So I burned 2 of my 3 questions in the podcast already.
Who's the best actor?
Garcia.
Meryl Streep.
Okay, I see why you say Meryl Streep. Sam, why do you say Garcia?
What is Garcia does a great job acting. He seems quite like the jilted butler. He does not screw up one thing. Garcia is fantastic the entire time.
He doesn't really have a chance.
He doesn't, and that's why.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him in the best actor. I would probably say Meryl Streep as well, Jackie.
Yeah.
Worst actor?
Garcia.
Really? I'm going to say the 15-year-old girl. She gets lost in almost all the scenes. And I think it's one of the things is because they couldn't figure out how old they wanted to make her, and they have to dive around the fact that she has boobs. Did you notice how much they were dodging her boobs? Yeah. Until the end when Garcia is trying to bang her, and you're like, wait, who's making this movie anyway?
Is she 8 or is she 16? What is this? I'm feeling weird.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable, not good.
And it wasn't her fault, but she did awful.
Yeah. I'm going to say Ed Begley Jr.
Really?
That man should, at some point, win an award for stinking. He stinks. He's not funny. He's not charming.
Yeah. Well, in this, he is funny and charming and all.
Oh?
Yeah, in all the Christopher Guest movies, he's great.
He's the weakest link in that whole thing.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he stinks. How did you phrase this last bit, Sam? Is this a good movie, a victim of a poor release, or just a horrible movie?
Yeah, is it a good movie? Or no, is it a bad movie, a victim of its filmmaking and release expectations, or is it just a completely terrible movie?
It's a good movie.
What?
You think it's a good movie?
Well, see, that's not wasn't one of the options.
Well, I don't really give a shit if that's an option. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it was a good movie, okay? But what I am saying is that it was entertaining enough.
Huh.
I know that you don't agree with me, but
Name
I
one
think
thing that entertained you in this movie. What if somebody came to you and said, Jackie, She-Devil, what would come to mind that you were like, yeah?
I liked Meryl Streep a lot in this.
So that's just it.
I liked her character. I liked her mom a lot too. The lady who plays her mom. I like the premise behind the story. It's all revenge driven.
Yeah, but it's so poorly executed.
I don't know that I'm not saying that it's a great movie. I'm saying that I was entertained.
It's not even very revengey, because who's she revenging? Her actions are so like, I'm just going to do whatever. I'm not going to ever put myself in a good position. Am I revenging Mary? Am I revenging Bob? Am I just doing what the fuck ever because some guy wrote down, hey, this will be a funny fucking sequence? I don't think it's a victim of its poor release. I think maybe it didn't make a lot of money because of that. I don't know.
Sing did okay.
Yeah, all right. I don't get that at all. I don't think it's a terrible movie because there are some good production elements about it. I just think as a whole, it's offensive. It bears no semblance to reality. Was never funny in any spot at all. Completely boring. And again, is the opposite of storytelling where nothing fucking happens. You can't have a fucking loop unless you're trying to make a statement about life is a loop, and that's not what they're doing. They're trying to make a statement about how women don't need to take this shit anymore, but it turns out, yeah, you got to take this shit still, ladies. It's the fucking 80s. We're going to fuck off, or you're going to fuck off because we're men and we make good decisions.
I go with I agree with Jackie and what I said earlier. The actual where it ends up is a victim of its own filmmaking, but that's not part of the question. Is it good? Is it bad? Or was the release a problem? I guess it's not horrible. It's just bad.
Yeah.
I feel exactly the same way about this movie as I felt about Vampire's Kiss. I felt exactly the same when they were both over. I thought that they both had some really great places that they could have gone. They didn't go there, and neither one of them were funny.
But Vampire's Kiss has an outstanding acting performance by Nicolas Cage that is very funny. So
I didn't think so.
Really?
I didn't like Vampire's Kiss. We go back to that episode and listen to it. I was the one you guys both said do. I said don't. I don't like it.
You said don't because you didn't like the still shots in that film, not because you didn't think that Nicolas Cage was hilarious. You laughed out loud and cried in that film.
I did not cry in that film.
You should go back and listen to that episode.
I felt exactly the same. When it was over, I was like, I didn't really like that movie.
So here's my question to you. Do you think that if they worked with this material, right, the premise of the story or whatever, do you think that if they remade this film, that they could remake it into something entertaining?
Is there a good movie in this, is what you're asking? Absolutely.
Is there a good movie in this? Absolutely. And I think it was the Seidelman women's rights movie that she never got to make.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was the source material, but that's not the source material, right?
No, I think that this movie has been made.
BBC did a 4-hour version of this.
No, not even that. I'm thinking even like a little bit looser version of what you're seeing in here. A movie like Intolerable Cruelty comes to mind, which is a fantastic film about people who are horrible pieces of shit that find a place in each other's lives, even though the whole time they're doing awful things to each other, and it ends up becoming a love story. That's a fantastic, not version of this, but similar concept of that.
Success of one of the ideas that this thing scrapes across.
Yes, exactly. I also go back to Death Becomes Her. We talked about before because that's a revenge movie. Two women hate each other fighting over men. I think it's hilarious. So yes, if I totally think that there's a good movie in here, I just don't think that this is a good movie.
No.
No, that there's no.
Again, I said that I thought that there was sort of this like. It seemed like the director had this different picture that she wanted to make, where Roseanne becomes this sort of emperor of outside of New York, and this women's right things happening that never happened. That movie didn't get made. Mm-hmm. That was the one that was the one of the million ideas that get scratched in this thing. The one that I was like, oh, that could have maybe been made. I don't have a parallel that actually got made though, like you can do with the other divorce pictures.
Yeah. No. My first main question about the plot is, actually it's my only. Is Roseanne going to jail? Is Ruth going to jail?
For what?
Well, she did burn down her house.
She blew up, that's arson, because let's say she doesn't make a claim, so she can't go down for insurance fraud. She's still looking at 6 to 18 for arson.
Correct. She also breaks into his office and embezzles the money. She frames him.
Yeah.
Whether he was already a bad guy or not, she frames him. And that is really fucking shitty right there.
It is shitty, and also because she involved the employment agency, that's conspiracy.
It is
conspiracy. That is a federal offense right there.
It's also fraud.
Yeah. SEC, come down on her ass.
Yep. She also litters.
Yeah, she litters pretty bad. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a $5,000 fine.
She is going to prison. There is a paper trail that shows that Bob did not embezzle all this money in real life. He gets a good attorney. He's probably going to serve some time because he was embezzling, but she's going to go to prison for the rest of her life.
Well, I think that had he been smarter, what he would have done, like, even if he's going to serve time, because they can't take that money, he just posts bail and then skips.
Yeah.
See you later, Bob.
I'm out. I'll go find some Italian lady overseas.
Yep.
I'm sure she'll be nice.
I got only one question left.
Oh, and I've got that love scene question.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
I
true.
added on to your look out fors.
So those kids are real fucked up. It's not really a question. I mean, it's just, those kids are fucked up.
Hey, see you at the top of a tower with a rifle someday, Billy.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. And Sally, I hope you don't get sold into the Russian sex trafficking,
Yeah,
but you'll
exactly.
probably fall and sign up. Where do I get in that Russian sex trafficking thing?
Yeah, well, hey.
Free drugs, man.
Yeah. Oof. My last question is: any character at all, don't say Garcia, likable in this
Garcia.
film?
Garcia's likable.
Okay, fine, but not him. Anybody else?
The mom.
The mom. That's what I was going
Do
to say
you
too.
really like her, or do you just like what she does to Meryl Streep's character?
I like her. I think she's high spirited. She's the kind of grandma that I'd want.
She's the only voice of truth in the entire film, so I like her.
Okay, who's the worst person in this film?
Like character. Who's,
Ruth.
Ruth is the worst person in
Yeah.
this film.
Yeah.
Because what she does to her children.
Yeah.
Regardless of everybody else doing things, she breaks the most credit, but she ruins her children's lives.
It's true.
And she takes advantage of women who don't have another option. And
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
sorry, but as a woman, you help other women out or you're just a dick.
She's a really bad person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruth is a real bad person. And she shouldn't be.
No.
That sucks so bad.
Creepiest or worst love scene. I'm
The
going
least hot.
the least hot. I'm going with the one where they're rolling around in the bed,
Mhm.
interlocked with their legs, and they both orgasm at the same time after they've rolled over 3 times, and he's fallen out.
Made a mess.
Yeah. And you know that's not happening.
Then the maid's, that's why the maid quits. She's like, fuck all this spooge.
Spooge. Say what you will about Ed Begley Jr. The man throws ropes. Fuck. I'm going to say the pool thing because it doesn't make any sense how the pool gets sectioned off into like a bubble bath with like a cover, and what are they even doing in there?
I'm going with that one too. Nobody wants to get whatever chemical reaction happens between chlorine and Mr. Bubbles probably isn't good for a vagina or a pee-pee hole.
No.
So I'm out on that. Not sexy. Stop doing it where you shouldn't be doing it.
Yep.
The best case scenario, yeast infection and UTI probably. But ugh. Final recommendations.
I'm going to say do it. Like I said, the entertainment value was there for me, and
Who are you saying to do it? Because I will guarantee you the majority of our listeners are going to fucking hate this movie.
oh, well, that's
So
their
who-
opinion.
Who is the person that you're saying do it? Just your clone?
Have you ever been scorned? Do you want... hold on, I'm doing my radio spot. Have you ever been scorned? Have you ever been dumped by a average-looking dude who dumped you for somebody way out of his league, and all you can think about is revenge? Then this movie is for you.
Okay. That's not a bad recommendation to that, but I certainly think that there's better films out there that you could make a recommendation to for that person. Sam?
I did not like it. I will say do not.
I didn't like it. I will say do not. Not funny. It's like Saturday Night Live. Not funny. Very unfair. Saturday Night Live's hilarious. This movie shouldn't have been made. A different movie should have been made, and that probably would have been a good movie. But this one is not, and not worth viewing.
Yep. But I would like to see, if there's anybody with any aspirations out there, if you could redo this movie and really grab some essence
Just
out of
watch
it.
the BBC version.
Or
it
just
would be cool.
watch Intolerable Cruelty. It's such a good movie. So many other good movies out there that you could watch. Next up is my pick. Right around the corner.
Oh God, it's going to be a space or trucking movie.
It's Space Truckin'.
Is it Space Truckers with Stephen Dorff, please?
It is not.
God damn it, it's gonna happen.
It is not. It's going to be a big one, though.
Oh.
And
What is it?
are you going to reveal it?
Yeah, I will. I think people like
Just
to hear
not
what's
on
next.
this program, though. Just when you guys are walking down the hall, maybe. Like, Space Truckers, I got you, bitches.
I'm going to pick Jim Cotta.
Oh, Jim Cotta, all right.
Oh.
Jim Cotta is next. And then the week after Jim Cotta will be the Smab Fuzz. So you are going to get on your very next episode of Stinker Madness the nominations for the Smabfo Awards. So check out the prelude to Jim Cotta coming on Friday. Enjoy your week and get to the chopper.
Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening and get to the chopper.